Good morning, dear students. In the previous class, we already understand about business studies. In the very first chapter in business study, bank transaction, we already know that what is bank and the terms of bank and meaning and what are the importance of bank and what is banking. Like this information we already understand in previous class. Next, then after we have to understand characteristics or natures, features of the bank. Then functions of bank and relationship between customers and bankers. What kind of relations it manages there. Already in the previous class we understand. In previous means yesterday. Yesterday we already know that about RBI. What are the other names of RBI? RBI has three names. The very first name is Mother's Bank. The second one is it is a central bank. The third one is Bankers Bank. It has three names. What is the stands for RBI? Reserve Bank of India. When it is established in the year 1935 on April 1st. So you have to remember RBI established year and what are the other names. And just one more thing you have to understand in the previous class, how many nationalized banks are there? 20. How many private banks are there? 21. How many foreign banks are there? 45. Then rest of these, how many branches? Rural, regional, government and private, entire, so included, how many branches RBI has? 86,000, around 86,000 in our country. This is the small information we have to understand in previous class. And one more important thing we have to understand, what are the major services provided by the post office. That is the major point we already understand in the previous class. That is, post office provided to customers the post savings bank, issue of national savings certificate, Kisan Vikas Patra, monthly recurring deposits, postal life insurance, pension payment, then money transfer. These are all important actions or functions done by post office to the customers. Now it is a time to understand the types of bank. How many kinds of banks in our country? Just you have to understand here. We already understand 5 major kinds or 5 different kinds of banks. We have already understand. There are different types of banks. Each bank is specialized in different types of activities. Here the important types of banks are, the very first one, central bank or reserve bank or mother bank, bankers bank. Yes, the next one, commercial banks, industrial development banks. Commercial banks very helpful to commercial purposes, and those banks lending loans to the business person, and they are issuing and receiving or transaction money and credited debited through commercial banks. Those are very helpful to business person. The next one, industrial development banks. We already know that India has 3 kinds of industries: large scale industry, middle scale industry and small scale industry. Like that, people are there in our country. So India manages money transaction through industrial development banks. Those banks are very separated, done their actions for the purpose of developing industries of our country. We already understand large scale industries and middle scale industry and finally small scale industry. Like these people are working in our country, so we have to understand those people lending loan or transaction their money through industrial development bank. The next one, land development banks. Those banks are very helpful to landlords or who had enough land for the purpose of cultivation. Those are farmers. These banks are very helpful to farmers and landlords. The next one, indigenous banks, that means money lenders or sahukaras. We are understand these people are leading their life in the village system. They are issuing or giving money to the poor farmers who are who doesn't have any piece of land. Like that people, they are doing their action, they are doing their laboring work in the Sahukara's family. So like this, indigenous banks are also one of the kinds of bank in our country. And then next one more thing is there, that is cooperative banks. Cooperative, here cooperative banks are also one of the part of our bank system. Here the next topic is there, that is types of bank accounts. Every bank has four kinds of accounts. The very first one, generally we know that savings bank account, current account, recurring deposit account, finally term or fixed deposit account. How many kinds of accounts are there? There are generally we know that four kinds of accounts are there in every bank. Every bank has four kinds of accounts. The very first one, savings bank account and current account, recurring deposit account, term or fixed deposit account. So in this way, in the next class, we have to understand what are the difference between savings bank account and current account, and the difference between recurring deposit account and the term or fixed deposit account. What are the main differences and which is the very usable account in these? So we have to understand these information in the next period, and thank you.